Well, it's another fine looking morning, and I think the swell's been knocked out, so there isn't going to be any swell with better luck. What we're going to do today? Plan is we're going to head out deep. We're going to fish for maybe bass, mackerel, pollock, whatever. We'll just fish for generally anything today, and then I may come back in and into the bay or somewhere nice and park up and cook up some fish that we've caught. Now, I may go and try and fish for some wrasse as well a bit later on. I haven't decided on that yet, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll play it by ear. I mean, you know, we'll see what we catch, what fish are around, and we'll take it from there. Pots, I did all my pots yesterday, so might just lift the odd one up here and there if I feel like just checking a couple, make sure they got some bait and that in them. But apart from that, like I say, today should be more about fishing and maybe, like I say, cooking up a bit of fish, because it does look like it's going to be a lovely day. Not a cloud in the sky. Light winds, there's a little breeze, but not bad. Right, let's be on our way. Okay, first thing we need to do is I'm going to go to the prawn pot, check that, because I left some velvet swimming crabs in there yesterday, and if I do decide to fish for a few wrasse later, we'll try for some. I'm going to need some bait, so go and grab a couple of those, and we can check, like I say, just check the pot at the same time. We've still got the crab in there, which is fortunate. Fortunate, because when you get a lobster in the pot, they sometimes eat them. There you go, another lobster. This pot seems to be flipping brilliant at catching lobster. Right, grab some of these. Make life easier. I'm not going to bother opening the pot. They pinch you every time, that's why I go to wear gloves. They're fast. Almost got no claws. There is a size limit for these as well, 6.5 I think it is. Those are a bit small, so we won't take those anyway. I think there's one more up there. That one will go back as well. We don't need that many, we only need a couple. No prawns, no prawns. I'll tell you what though, they're breaking the bait bag, so they do tear through this shrimp net. come up with a better bait bag maybe next time from next year. Best thing about this pot is it catches lobsters and that, and I literally only need to use a mackerel head in it. Whereas the big pots, you end up putting so much bait in them. Right, let's head out. Just a little bit of water because they do need to keep wet, those ones. So we trailed out, we haven't had anything, so it's not looking too good, but I did expect it, to be honest. It's not been very, very quiet out here for a week or two now, well, a couple of weeks. We'll try a bit of spinning, then we'll try for some mackerel maybe, or pollock. Slide, tide slackens a bit. I just got to check which way I'm drifting. I'm on a funny drift at the moment, I think. Have a look. Aha! Could be a fish. Well, mackerel's going to be on the menu. We've got something. Like I say, it's a bit quiet. Well, it's very quiet in fact. Oh, here we go. Yep, mackerel is definitely on the menu. Right, I think I'm gonna go to the lighthouse. Something in it. It's got a black bream. Excellent. Nothing. Right, let's have a look at our little spider. There we go. One fine black bream. You do get them out here. You don't get them. You get a lot more if you go to the other side of the island fishing for them, kind of thing. But you do get them here. Occasionally in the pots they come past, like, and you will catch them now and again. Like I say, it seems like every year some shoals swim past here, and you get one or two in the pot over a period of days. But that's fine. I might keep that one, take home with me, that one, so I don't want to waste any of it, like with the and I don't really need it for what we're going to do after. Well, we got a lobster. Right, just had to switch the battery out. I've just pulled the other pot and there's lobsters in that as well, so we'll have a look at those. I think they're smaller. Where's my gauge? Good question, where have I got my gauge? I know I put it somewhere down here, that was it. Right, so, first pot. Fairly sure this one's size, but it does have big old claws, so that can be deceiving sometimes. Yes, that's easily oversized. One nice one. One more. Right, this pot needs to be rated. That's actually the pot that had that rancid old bit of tongue in it. Now, spider crab. And we've got some lobster in here, but I think this one might be size. One clawer. Yes, easily. That could be on the menu. Let me put that one down there. Being it's a one clawer as well, that'd be ideal. And there's this one which might be under, but it might be on as well. That is legal. That's 3 out of these 2 pots. This is going rather well. This one won't be size, this will be under. And just a small one. And I better just go back a bit. Just a little tiddler. And that will be size, I think, as well. Another one. I'm pretty sure is size. Quick check. Yes, that's size. Okay, we've arrived where we're going to park up and chill out. We're on the edge of sort of gravelly sand to weed, and I'm going to try and fish for wrasse here. I don't know if we'll get them. There is a gully around here which has really big wrasse in it, but it's so hard to find with the boat. If I went snorkeling I'd find it pretty quick, but it's weird when you're in a boat, different perspective. Right, we're going to be, decided I'm going to be cooking up some mackerel, which is one of these probably, and I'm also going to be doing some lobster. We've got that one clawed one, so what I'll do is in a minute, off camera, I'll dispatch that, and I'm going to take it apart as well for what I'm doing. Now, we could have had the black bream we caught, but I've decided to save that because I don't want to mess around with that. It'll, I can take some nice fillets off that and freeze them for another day when I get another bream or a bass or something to go with it. Seems a bit of a waste doing it out here. So what I've done is I've dispatched the lobster very quickly, and I took off the tail and the claw. This is only one claw. I don't really need the claws, that's why that one clawed one was perfect. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get some seawater in my frying pan, and I am going to parboil it kind of thing. I'm not going to fully boil it, just enough to semi-cook it, and then we'll be using the frying pan. Now obviously we don't have to add salt to the water. So yeah, we'll just let that water boil up. Like I say, it's the tail I mainly need. The tail meat. The claw meat's not so important. While that's doing, we will fillet up a mackerel. So, filleting a mackerel is pretty straightforward. Although, maybe not with this knife. I should have taken this in and sharpened it and I forgot. There you go. Should have brought my other knife out. I've got a couple of different ones. But okay, so which one are we going to have? I reckon have that one, because that one's the fattest one. I won't bother with that one. I'll keep that one. We only need 2 fillets will do. Basically, you just run the knife all the way up through the bone. Take that off like that. Flip it over, do the same. There we go, and that bit go in my crab pots. Now, we'll take the stomach parts like that. Same with this one. Now we've got to get the fin bone in there, I have to just get that out. More in a second. Those out. I don't want any bone in it at all for this. And there's a central bone. They actually have a lot of bones in. Now you hear people talk about bony fish, but mackerel surprisingly got a lot of bones compared to other fish. That'll do. Pull that centre bone out. Don't get any of these bits. Now normally I'd throw the fish over the side, which I'll do later. There's a lot of seagull around, so I don't want to draw seagulls over to my, you know, have too many seagulls howling away around me. So give them a rinse. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to cut them into like goujons. Like so, with my oh so sharp knife. Goujons like that. That'll probably do us actually. Right, leave that for 1 minute. The water's getting towards boiling. Right, there you go. That's cooked enough. Take that out. Like I say, it's all about just sealing it up a little bit, so you can see it's gone slightly orange. The claw we'll just leave in there, we'll cook that. The trouble with these gas stoves is because they got these little cylinders which are only have so much pressure, because obviously they're only made of very fine, a bit like a tin can. When you cook with them, they get cold and they lose their pressure, so you don't get that heat from them anymore. Now what we've brought out is this batter, and some years ago, I mean, I was never a big fan of mackerel. It was alright, I didn't hate it or anything like that. I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it that much compared to other fish. And one day, got some mackerel, battered it and deep fried it. This is deep fried, obviously. Oh my god, it was so good. I became an instant fan of mackerel, like just for the battered mackerel. It was amazing. I mean, it's changed that mackerel into something really nice. So quite often these days I'll batter it. Now I could have gone to all the trouble of trying to make batter on the boat and all this, but I'm not going to mess around too much. So this is basically a bought one, as you can see there. It's quite a light batter. It's not a really stodgy batter, because some of them can be really stodgy. This one's quite light, so we're going to mix this up. We're just going to mix it up in a little pot like this. It just mixes with water. Not much to it. I'm only going to be putting a bit of salt on the fish. I'm not going to bother being spicing the fish in any way. It won't need it really, not when we're going to batter it anyway. Let me just check. Yeah, okay. We won't need an awful lot. This is going to be good. It's going to be real good. Try that to start with. We can add a bit more if it's not quite right. Water. I could have done with a bigger pot, but I didn't want to carry too much stuff, so I just brought this little one. As you can see, batter, lovely. And that should be probably thick enough. Now, the lobster, I need to de-shell it. Now, what's going to be the easiest way? I left my big knife, and I wouldn't use my big knife from the boat anyway because it cuts bait. It's not very hygienic. So do it like this. It should pull out fairly easy now. And it doesn't matter if it does break up, because I'm going to cut it up anyway. In fact, where's my knife? Where's this? Just that tail bit gets hooked onto it sometimes. There we go. This is a tough lobster. Notice the shell is extra hard on this one. This is how a lobster should be, that the shell is really tough. If you can just crumble the shell off, you're not getting the full meat, because they'll have a lot of water in them if they've changed their shell fairly recently. And there we go, nice big lobster tail, partly cooked, which is ideal. Right, let me get this claw out. This is just vegetable oil. And we can put it in the side. Put it all in. I don't have loads, but I want a little bit more than normal, just for because this frying pan's a bit dicey, and you want to get it like fried kind of thing. So next step. next step. Turn that around like that. Don't worry about that. So, coat our fish. Do that oil a bit hotter, but that's the trouble with this gas stove. Just cut up the lobster a little bit into pieces. Put the lobster in last because it's partly cooked, so it won't need long. Plus if you overcook it, it'll just get tough. So we just stir that up in there like that. There we go. Looking good. Looking real nice. You've got a little bit of oil there. It's not petrol or anything like that. It's a little bit of oil that was left in the pan. I tipped out so it's not sitting in oil when it cools. So, how's this going to be? I know how the mackerel's going to be. I already know that. The mackerel is going to be absolutely amazing. It's good. Then one thing I did forget to do was put a little bit of salt on, but no problem. You can add it afterwards. Some people don't want too much salt on their food. Others like lots. I like a little bit. It always enhances the flavour of the, mainly on the mackerel. I mean the lobster won't need any. Just need a little bit, tiny bit. There we go, just a pinch. Good. Salt done. Get my water because got to keep hydrated out here in the sun. Right. Go straight in on that mackerel again. That's lovely. Another reason, like I say, I get this batter in the box like that because this batter gets really crispy. When I mix it up myself, quite often it's a bit thicker, you know. They got a perfect sort of consistency. Now, let's try a bit of battered lobster. Woo! Oh, that is so good. Some of you know when you've had battered prawns, like I say, but this is with a crispy batter, not a soggy, soft batter. That's what you're getting with that lobster. It's like large prawns. I mean, crikey, I got a prawn pot out. I don't need a prawn pot. Just cut up lobster tail and deep fry it, or batter it and fry it. Tell you what would go well with this right now. I mean, I've got water, but a glass of wine maybe, or for me, I'd rather have glass of cider with it. That would really finish it off. Unfortunately, I can't, because when I get back on the beach I'm going to drive home. So. But if I do this again and I do this at home, then I'm definitely going to get a glass of cider with it. And this is a perfect way to kick back. Battered mackerel, battered lobster, just offshore, anchored boat, fishing rod out, nice weather. Complete with batter bits. Anybody remember that? The chip shops, they still do it? Used to be able to go in, when we were kids anyway, we didn't have much money, you could go in and you could ask for some batter bits, and most places would just give you some free batter bits, because obviously it's just the bits floating around that haven't stuck to the fish. But I mean, other places they would charge you maybe a few pence, but you know, when you're a kid and you've got no money, or back then when we didn't have money. And if you haven't tried mackerel in batter, you should. I mean, this batter could have done with maybe a tad more, but the trick with it is to have that balance of not too much batter, but have the fish. So, because sometimes, I mean, when you go to the chip shops, I mean, it's a different kind of fish, isn't it? It's not quite the same, that. And I mean, sometimes you get so much batter on them that it kind of takes away from the fish, and you just get so stuffed with all the batter. This batter, because it's so light, it doesn't, like, you don't feel all sort of, what do you call it, full up, not full up, but all stodgy later, like you don't want to do anything, that sort of thing. It's really, like I say, quite a refreshing batter, you might say. Tell you what though, this would be well worth getting a few lobsters doing this, inviting a few friends out. Get one of them to drive so I can have a, a cider with the battered lobster. So there you go, all gone. One lobster and a mackerel. I've got to say, that is probably one of the best lobsters. Or whether it's just sitting out here eating it, whether it's because it's in the batter, maybe it's the way it's fried, I don't know. But there's something so simple, it tasted amazing. Still lots of seagulls around. And the mackerel is good as well, but I've done the mackerel before. I mean, I've done lobster ages ago, we had it battered once I think, but I think it was cooked too long, because if I remember rightly it was a bit tougher. I think on that occasion, now it had been boiled, then it got fried very quickly, but because it had been boiled for too long, you only want to sort of quick boil just so it's easy to get out the shell. If you take it out the shell when it's not boiled, the lobster tail is like jelly. I mean, you could probably do it like that as well, but it's just easier to get it out of the shell if you just make it go white with a quick flash cook kind of thing. There's a fish there. There is a fish over there. What kind of fish? I don't know. Bass maybe? Mullet? Could be anything. Could be a mackerel, could be a long nose. I did land the lure a bit close to him, so I might have spooked him. But I do know there are bass around along here, just from having snorkeled around here. It's to see some nice ones. There's like bootlace weed, or what you call it, spaghetti weed or something like that, that they lurk in, and they ambush prey as it comes past. We used to do the same trick, just sort of sit floating in the bootlace and wait for the bass to come past, and then it was bass barbecue. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not on the rockfish area. Well, I might be. You might need to have the tide up. I mean, it is right on the low tide now, so the boat probably disturbs them a bit as well. Oh. Right, well, I'm going to start making my way back because it's getting hot and I got some lobsters in the bucket and don't want to stress them out. And I'm not really catching much here because you need to, probably if I came here at high tide it'd be much better.